What's going on everyone, it's Gadgets Boy and John here with me as well. Welcome to another video. And in this video, we're going to be taking the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. We're going to be taking them on road to test a few things. We're going to be testing things like the camera, the battery, the performance, gaming, you name it. We're going to be testing them in this video. But there's a plot twist.
We're expecting to see differences because we've got both versions here, the Snapdragon version and the Exynos version. And there are some slight differences between the chips. So I'm going to be looking out in particular for how those different phones handle photography and video.
Place your bet right now. Exynos.
I'm leaning Snapdragon, just because I've seen what 8 Gen 1 can do in some of the other devices that they've released recently.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I think I'm going to go with the Exynos with me, as in I'm going to be using that in this video, and John's going to be using the Snapdragon version.
Team Snapdragon.
Hopefully we'll be able to turn off 5G on the Exynos version, because in the UK, the Snapdragon version doesn't allow you to use 5G here, so which is a bit weird, but hopefully we can turn one off so there's a fair competition between both of them. But I'm excited for this one.
Let's go outside.
Let's check it out. Right, so before we head out, we're also going to incorporate battery life with heading out. So because we're going to be taking photos, possibly gaming, taking phone calls.
Screen on time as well.
Screen on time, checking emails, all that stuff. So obviously, right now we're both on the same battery life. So we are sitting on 87% battery life on both. Screen settings are identical. We've got the full res on, adaptive refresh on. To help burn the battery as well, we're both even charging our Rode microphones with the phone as well, which is quite interesting. And we've also got Wi-Fi on, 5Gs are on, Bluetooth on, all the network settings, basically everything that will help burn the battery. And we're going to see what we end up on when we come back into the studio to finish off the video. But yeah, we're going to head out now and test some camera stuff.
Yeah, we're going to Central.
Let's do it.
So yeah, the reason why I wanted to stop here and take a picture is because we've got quite a difficult or challenging scene for a camera like this. Okay. Because you've got the sun really bright on the left, and then you've got the church which is almost backlit. So you've got a nice light coming across it. So you've got a good composition where you will have shadow areas that you'll want to bring up, and you will have highlights in the clouds that you'll want to turn down. So for this, we've had to download a separate app to shoot RAW, which is I think that's a bit strange.
Why are we shooting RAW? Can we not shoot normal as well?
We can do it. We can see what the JPEGs look like. I think we should do that. But the RAW gives us 16-bit files that we can play with in post. So I think that's a good way to see what the sensor can really do.
Cool. Because on the Qualcomm they have the new sight.
Snapdragon sight.
Which
can do up to 18 bits, but I don't know if Samsung's enabled that on this device. So again, that's another interesting thing to see if the Snapdragon version.
Exynos has 16-bit RAW.
Yeah.
Cool. So at least we have 16-bit RAW on both.
At least.
Okay,
but
cool.
Maybe the Snapdragon will be able to do a little bit more.
So let's do standard JPEG first. Let's go wide as well, so we can test that ultra wide. They have a three times.
Bit of zoom.
And then 10 times. That's 10 times.
What are you zooming in on?
Zooming on the glass. Yeah, same thing.
The stabilisation is pretty good as well.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth actually.
Like it's really trying to hold on to if you move it quickly.
And then 10 times zoom. I'm gonna go all the way to the top of the building, to the clock.
Okay, yeah.
And see where we have X11, which is what, 12?
12 o'clock.
Snap that.
It's not very clear.
It's not bad. Ultra wide, 1 times, 3 times. We get 10 times on that. And then that's the clock there, but we can do 100 times. Got a little guide on the right. And that would take me to that. Come back. You can see the stabilisation compensating when you go 100 times zoom, which is understandable. What's the shutter lag like?
So I feel like there's a little bit of a noticeable lag from when I take a shot. It's almost like a second.
Like milliseconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But that's all it takes to me is a shot though. You want to be able to get it out of your pocket.
There you go.
Cool. And then there's Expert RAW that you were talking about.
So yeah, Expert RAW is a completely separate app that you have to download when you want to shoot a RAW image.
So that just gives you pro mode stuff. So you got
full
ISO,
manual control,
speed, etc. Focus, white balance. So
I think leave everything on auto because essentially you can edit it all in RAW anyway.
Cool.
And then when you shoot, there's an even greater lag when you shoot in this mode,
which I think is understandable. Right. So I just shoot everything auto. It's really dark here.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can see right now it's processing on your phone.
Okay.
And then it will bring up the highlights, bring down the highlights. Considering we're looking at a picture taken on a phone with a dynamic range boost effectively done in camera, that's really impressive. it hasn't lost the clouds at all. It's still managed to got a nice amount of detail on the front side of the church. So if you look at the settings, the devices have got the same aperture, but this has used a slightly slower shutter speed to allow more light into the camera. So that for me suggests that Snapdragon Sight, the AI is doing a lot better work, seeing what the scene is and creating a better exposure for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the file size is slightly bigger on yours.
Slightly bigger, yeah. So I've got 31.9 megabytes, you've got 28.6. So we're capturing more data here.
And this is on the ultra wide. This is fascinating.
Yeah, they've done a great job. Even the glass details in there, all the piping's a bit more clear. What about the trees? How does that look?
There's a lot of
sharpening
going on in this processing.
Way too much sharpening.
This looks way more natural.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this looks almost grainy.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't taken on a...
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
Oh my God.
Too much sharpening, nice and neutral.
Ah, man.
I'm happy with that.
Snapdragon wins that one. So again, for this one, I think, oh, nice bike.
Missed it. Shutter lag. I didn't get anything.
But that was what I was about to say. In the real world, what happens is something happens very quickly, and what you want to do is get your phone out, get a shot. Yeah. So what we'll do is, if you lock the screen, lock it completely. This will test processing as well. So in your pocket, quick draw, and we're getting a photo. Yeah. This taxi coming, quick.
I got 3 shots off. Easy.
Let's have a look. Blurry, not blurry.
Yeah, that's equal.
Yours is brighter again. Look at that metal.
Yeah, true.
That is silver.
But that is one of the things about the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip, is it does prioritize exposure, color depth, and I guess detail to an extent. But that's what it's doing inside the phone, you can see it. Yeah.
I mean, they both look great, but if you're gonna get into the detail, like the nitty gritty of it, I'd say the Snapdragon takes that one again.
It's more attractive.
Because you get the brightness in the right areas.
And even look at the reflection on the side.
The shiny bit.
You've got more of the blue coming through, whereas that's quite white.
From the sky. That's so true.
So right now, I'm taking a picture of Tommy. I've got both devices up. On my right, I've got the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip, and I've got the Exynos version on my left. The autofocus seems to be about even. When you're looking, look to your left and your right. The Snapdragon version looks a little bit warmer, whereas the Exynos version looks a bit cold. So I'm not sure which one's more natural. To my eye, I'd say it is a bit more on the cold side. I'll snap a shot. Again, that lag on the Snapdragon version, I don't like it. I'm gonna put it in photo mode now. Immediately the sky's gone.
On both?
Yeah, on both.
And that's with
it's coming back a bit more on the Qualcomm version. I mean the Exynos.
You heard it here first.
It's coming back a bit on the Exynos version, but on the Snapdragon version, the sky's completely gone. Snapped. Let's have a look. But after processing, look, the Exynos version has lost the detail in the sky. Normal. You've got a lot more color depth in this image.
Definitely.
You completely lost the sky on the Exynos version.
Exynos, yeah. And then if you look between the loop in my hair at the top.
No, the Snapdragon version's got all your little hairs in between the gap. That's crazy.
But this one doesn't. The Exynos doesn't.
Yeah, it's just blurred it completely. You can see it's actually managed to keep the hair in between the gap.
Strands,
and it's just got rid of them there. So edge detection definitely seems to be better on the Snapdragon version.
Yeah. Fascinating.
And the color depth. It's night and day.
But then you go to that one, then it sorts it out properly.
Yeah, but how many times do you want to take the shot to get it right?
But consistency though. This is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Each time.
It's more consistent.
This one's gone from, I think it's like this. Oh wait, I think it's like this.
It's just, for me I want consistency over anything else.
Onto some video recording. We can shoot up to 8K at 24 frames per second.
Yep.
4K 60. You do your switch.
Or just super cross?
Yeah, literally just pan from there.
So that building.
Yeah, all the way to St. Paul's, top of St. Paul's. It's the backlight HDR situation here is not the one.
And also, auto HDR is turned on by default as well.
Yeah, backlight situation is not the one. It's too dark. The buildings are dark.
Does it pick it up?
And then he obviously gradually goes over.
Yeah, you can see from the start of it, you can see nothing, but on this one you can actually see a little bit of detail.
A little bit better. Snapdragon's winning this one. What we have here is basically the stabilisation that comes with the system, but you also got super steady. But super steady when you have it on. I'm just gonna put that on here. It's only available in full HD mode, so 60 frames or 30 frames. And also 0.6 times, so ultra wide, and 1 times zoom as well. So do bear that in mind if you really want to get those super steady. So super steady mode. What's going on, Tom?
What's up?
It's not bad. Walk backwards again. What's up, John?
What's up?
Okay, so that's super steady mode on. And now I'm gonna take it off and just have it on normal, like most people would use it. We leave it on 1 times, so moving backwards. That's pretty steady, to be fair.
Which one looks better?
I think they're both just about the same. Yeah. Imagine you're in a concert as well. You're trying to get that shot of, I don't know, A$AP Rocky performing. Dave performing. So I'm just gonna. That guy thought I was trying to rob him. Alright, this is pretty smooth. Like both pretty smooth. I think they're both like really good in terms of stability. Like it's pretty smooth. Yeah, good work.
Again, I think that's a draw.
Where it's really testing is when you go 10 times zoom and you're trying to test the stabilization. And let me just go back out so we put them from the beginning.
That's the Exynos version.
Exynos version is all over the place.
Yeah, it's really fighting.
Yeah, it's fidgety, trying to figure out what it wants to do. Even at the most stable point where I'm holding it as stable as I can, you can see the building there just wobbling away.
Yeah, that's not right.
Like all I'm doing is pointing. Yeah.
We might have to give that slight one to the Snapdragon.
Yeah, I think it's all this consistency with what it can do and can't do. All round consistency so far on the Snapdragon is impressive, I think. Front facing camera tests, audio's picking up straight away. Hi John.
What's up?
I think so far the right one, which is the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, looks much better on here.
Much nicer, yeah.
Like color, skin tone, everything looks better. This is a 40 megapixel front facing camera.
Great for selfies.
Yeah. I'd go Snapdragon on this one. One looks washed out more than the other one.
Yeah, I like the colors a lot more.
On the Snapdragon?
Yeah, way more.
Right, let's do a bit of a movement.
Login test.
Why does the Snapdragon one look much nicer? Oh man, Snapdragon wins this one hands down. It's not even a.
I didn't even say anything.
Look at the green of your hat as well.
It's green.
Damn. We've been doing some low light testing as well. Unfortunately, obviously the DSLR couldn't go in there because it wasn't about that low light life. But I think the shots looked quite similar in terms of what they could achieve. But night sight, which is the night mode on here, makes things look much better. But an interesting test that we did though.
So we shot through a tunnel basically, and the other side of it is normal light.
Yeah. And
then inside the tunnel, obviously, you've got quite a low light situation.
Exactly.
When you zoom in, you can see that it does lose a lot of detail, particularly in the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that menu. Maybe we could see on the left how the writing looks. You can read most of it.
You can read most of it. Yeah. This looks a bit more detailed.
I think that looks a bit more detailed though to me.
Yeah. So I think this looks like takes it a little bit here in terms of winning the shot, but I think they both struggled with that dynamic range, looking down the tunnel.
Yeah, definitely.
Right at the end, and then trying to balance lighting and detail.
But again, like you said, because the Snapdragon version seems to prioritize exposure, it's lost the detail in those bulbs.
Yeah.
Because it's gone a bit too bright.
This saves the highlights because it's darker.
Exactly.
So it's just about consistency at the end of the day, right? I think that's more consistent for me. Each and every time I know what it's going to do when I pull it out of my pocket.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm not sure if that was going to come out great or not.
You're rolling the dice.
Yeah. How are we doing for battery life so far?
I'm on 48%.
I'm on 39%. We've both been doing the same thing.
Interesting.
Still charging that road. Mics as well, Wi-Fi, everything on.
I don't know what's happened there. 10%. Yeah. That's not what the other tests have said. Just saying. So
back in the studio, we're going to take a look at some performance bits on both devices. So to my left and which might look right to you on the screen. I'm not sure, but we'll put labels on the screen anyway. To my left is the Exynos S22 Ultra, and to my right is the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 S22 Ultra. And the results are quite interesting when it comes to Geekbench scores and stuff like that, but we'll look at that shortly. But the first thing first, I just want to run through like opening applications and all that stuff to see how quickly they're open together. And yeah, I'll try and be as quick as I can in making sure they're very equal. So let's start with the camera app. So tap away. Seems to be pretty much equal there. So let's close that. And by the way, there's nothing running in the background. So if I just let's close Samsung Pay on this one. There we go. Obviously, I've just opened Samsung Pay, but you can see there's nothing running in the background as well. So next, let's open Chrome browser and see how quickly that gets open. So here we go. Looks like the Snapdragon rendered that pretty quickly. They're both connected to Wi-Fi, so there's no differences when it comes to speed and connection speed. So you can see the difference there. And they're both on adaptive display, so things moves pretty smoothly. No issues there at all, but just a slight faster speeds seen on the Snapdragon version. Next, I think we should open Call of Duty, which is another graphics intensive app. So here we go. Ooh, wow. I feel like that one was quicker, which is the Snapdragon version, but then that started to load up faster shortly after it's loaded. So kind of strange in terms of speed there, but do with that information what you will. But I think one was faster at the start and then one picked up as soon as you load the app. So maybe we should do one more time. Let's close both applications. This is midway loading. Snapdragon's loading pretty quicker than the other one, which is pretty interesting. Okay, let's do that again. The Snapdragon one's just way quicker there, just so eager to load. Look at that. Jesus. That's much quicker compared to the Exynos version there. But we'll put that to the background, let that carry on doing its thing. And then, yeah, just general fluidity just feels really nice. I don't think there's any issues there at all. So whichever one you buy in whichever region you are in the world, I think you still get really good performance out of the two. For those who are interested in things like Geekbench scores and stuff, we did run Geekbench on this as well. So there's Geekbench 5, which everyone knows about that already. So I'll show you the ones that we've done already. So you can go to history there. And this is the one I literally ran shortly just before this. So we go with the 4:40 PM ones, which is here. So you can see the differences there. So single core, there's a big difference between both devices. So the Snapdragon is much lower compared to the Exynos processor. And when it comes to multi-core, which I think does actually matters more in my opinion, they both are quite similar in that sense. So again, do with that what you will. If that really matters, who knows? In the real world, I don't see much difference in terms of processing power and how much it does in terms of performance. I think they both still work pretty smoothly with no hiccups, no problems there at all. So up to you. Let me know what you think in the comments below in terms of performance there. So next up, we've got gaming, and John's got the Snapdragon version. I've got the Exynos version. We've swapped earlier on, so he's been playing on the Exynos and I've been playing on the Snapdragon. So now we're just playing on the alternate versions to see if we feel
can see any difference
in how fluid it is and just the processing power,
frame rate,
and then we're also going to check how hot it gets. This is already getting warm,
yeah,
and we've only had one gaming session on there, so
we have.
Let's go.
I'm actually expecting the Exynos version to be better though, because based on the Geekbench scores that you had, this looks like it can handle a lot more in terms of GPU performance.
Yeah, but the thing is, Exynos have been working with NVIDIA.
Gotcha.
To make sure they get the best GPU they can get. So that could be to Exynos' advantage when it comes to gaming. One thing that's important though as well is the temperature management, so thermal management rather. So like I said, this one in my hand's already getting warm. I don't know if they were your hot hands or the actual...
I ain't got hot hands, what are you talking about?
Or is the processor doing a lot of work and the graphics doing a lot of work, hence why it's getting up. But this is super fluid. I don't see much difference in terms of how fluid it is. And also one thing to note is regardless of which one you get, they will get hot when you're gaming. That's just the nature of the beast. The longer you game on them, the worse it will get in terms of temperature. It will get warm. but not hot enough to be scalding or that you can't hold the phone. So what a day trying out these two devices. I think both of us have our favorites, but it's not a game of favorites. I think it's just a matter of just testing them out to see which one performs better in day-to-day experiences like gaming, the battery life, photography, video, selfie stuff, and just generally how they perform.
There are definitely some significant differences, but I don't think you're not getting a bad phone with either device.
No.
You're going to get a great device, whichever one you can go for. But for me, the camera on the Snapdragon was a lot more consistent. And ultimately, when I'm taking pictures, I need consistency over anything else. So I would go for the Snapdragon version, predominantly because the camera is just so consistent.
I agree. The camera, like, you can see, if you skip back or check the chapters, you can see the bits where we're comparing things like the dynamic range and the focusing and stuff like that, color depth. You can see that the consistency is very good on that one.
There was way too much sharpening on this one, on the Exynos version.
On the Exynos. You're pointing at your phone.
Sorry, on the Exynos version. There was way too much.
Yeah, there's loads of over sharpening and over processing going on here, trying to compensate for the darker areas and stuff like that, which is quite interesting. But I think for people posting pictures on Instagram and all that stuff, it's nothing to worry about.
They're still
really.
Both great cameras.
Yeah.
Just, for my personal taste, consistency wins out of anything.
Yeah. Battery life, I think they both perform really well. They're very similar. In fact, we're back in here and it's on 21% now.
This one's on 22.
Exactly. And we've been doing more or less the same thing, like gaming, running some benchmarks.
I didn't notice any difference in the gaming.
No. Gaming was the same.
Even.
Yeah. Video was quite similar as well. I think the selfie camera was, there's a lot of differences there.
Nicer on this one.
It was nicer on the, I can't remember which one. Was it a Snapdragon?
Yeah.
One had better details, for example, and just better colors, better dynamic range.
You looked washed out on that one.
Yeah, so it's preferences, but I think if we go technical basis on that one, I think you don't want the washed out one. I think the one of them was compensating for brightness again. It was trying to make sure that you get bright colors and stuff like that. But yeah, I think they're very similar in many ways. The Snapdragon edges it in so many ways as well. I think I'd give it to the Snapdragon for this one. But I think for the average Joe, battery life is good, camera's good in general. Processing power is good as well. Gaming experience is very similar. There's not much differences there. So yeah, look forward to what Exynos is going to come up with next with NVIDIA when it comes to the GPU side of things. Going to see what Snapdragon is going to come out with, Qualcomm's going to come out with when it comes to things like your neural engine and AI performance.
Well, because that's the interesting thing with Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is there's a lot of things that the chip can do that Samsung hasn't enabled, and all the other devices that have Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, they all kind of pick and choose what they want to take from that chip.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what other people make of that chip as well.
Yeah. But yeah, surprising with the Geekbench scores as well. Like, I'm just shocked.
Well, that performed a lot better.
Yeah.
So in use, I didn't notice it. That's what was weird.
That's what's weird, yeah. But maybe it's just the state of the device during tests. But yeah. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments below. Which one would you go for? Which one do you think works better off for your use case scenarios? Let us know in the comments below because that's what matters the most.
And maybe they think that the pictures on that looks better.
Exactly. Could be a subjective thing. Yeah, when you put it on PC, sometimes it's different. But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below. And as always, if this is your first time around here, please do subscribe and ding that bell notification because if you like videos like this one, you get notified every time we upload them up on the channel. Thanks for watching.
Catch you in the next one.